talk about in Supernormal, and that's where I get at, we have the trauma literature where, you read some of the trauma work and you think, oh my gosh, I'm done for, I'm cooked, I had these experiences, there's no hope for me. And then you read the resilience literature of, some of it, like click your heels 3 times and you're gonna bounce right back, and you think, well, that's not me. And so what we actually know is that people can grow up with very significant adversities, and through, the long list of strengths, get themselves to better lives, healthier environments, better relationships, and over time, literally, and the book gets into this, the good outweighs the bad. So I talked about how the bad experiences stack up, living with an alcoholic parent night after night after night, that stacks up. Living in a happy, safe, healthy home, that stacks up too. And so what a lot of resilient people do is if they're able to get out, whether they're 15 or 20 or 25, and create for themselves a happier, healthier, safe, not traumatic environment, that stacks up over time. And over time, that's bigger than what came before. And, many people would say that, I'm thinking of Bill de Blasio, for example, because he is an example in the book. And I talk about this towards the end where I talk more about relationships and the healing capacity, is that some of my clients who grew up with hard times are more determined and more focused and more clear about how much they want and will be a good parent or a good partner or a good friend, because they don't take any of that for granted. So the reason I was thinking of Bill de Blasio is he's in the book, and he talks about, he learned what not to do from his upbringing, or that a lot of my Supernormal clients have this real drive to have things be different for their kids or for their marriage. And so in some ways, they can be better equipped for adulthood because they're, just really have that kind of determination, but also that experience of what all it's going to take to have a better life. So yes, people can absolutely get to a point where they feel like, well, that was then and this is now. This doesn't affect me anymore.
The sharpest sword is put to the grindstone or something like that. And the other part of that is that you say love is the healing balm for people, but sometimes aren't people, say you came from an alcoholic home or abusive home, less equipped to create a healthy relationship because they don't know what it is or what it feels like? I mean, that's where their comes in.
No, I'm actually glad you raised that. So one of the chapters, it's actually one of my favorite chapters in the book. What is it called? I think it's called Redemption. But it's to this point exactly, and that was the one I was thinking of Bill de Blasio because he's in there. So it gets into the cycle of violence research, which we've all heard about, the cycle of violence research, or the cycle of alcoholism, etc. So those cycles are real. However, a lot of that research is pretty cruddy, and so they're real, but they're not even the majority of people. So for every person out there who goes, well, I grew up with an alcoholic, I'm going to marry an alcoholic. There's a person out there who goes, Lord, I grew up with an alcoholic, I am not marrying an alcoholic. And so I'll give you a great, one of my favorite kind of anecdotes from the book is not, it was actually one that a minister shared with me. We were talking about resilience, and he told me this great, it's a parable, I guess, so that there's 2 men, and they're sitting in a minister's office. And they were both raised by an alcoholic father. And one grew up to be an alcoholic, and was, a lot like his dad. And the other one grew up to be an upstanding citizen, great husband, great father, nothing like his dad. And so the minister said, given how you grew up, how do you think you became who you were? And they both had the same answer. They both said, well, look at who my father was. How could I not? And so it's the same place that they started from. And one saw inevitability of repetition. The other saw inevitability of I'm going to go the other way. And so yes, I mean, some people are going to sort of repeat what they saw, but sometimes I think people hear about the cycle of violence, cycle of abuse, cycle of whatever. I don't mean to say this is an easy thing to overcome, but you're not doomed to that. I had a client one time tell me, it would probably be best if the family line ended with him. And that made me sad to hear him say that. I said, well, what some of the things that went on in your family ended with you, but you could still be a partner, you could still be a parent and do it differently. But that was the first time he'd imagined that he didn't just have to kind